So I opened it up like an idiot, probably talking, and people are seeing me talking, and I don't know if I'm live yet because I haven't opened it up in studio yet because I'm freaking professional at all this. See if it's open. There we go. Looks like, yeah, we're live here. Okay, yeah, it's live. Okay, hi everybody. All right, you guys head on over there, and I didn't put it up yet. God damn it. Okay. All right, crap. All right, here it is, Samuel. I'll give it to Devil in a second. All right, there we go. Oh, you guys hear me talking? I'm talking in two different streams right now. I got to get the invite out in the proper places. We've got to rebuild the live stream. I hope everybody's come on over from there. Here we go again. For some reason, StreamYard decided to misbehave and disconnect from YouTube. I don't know what happened. I do not know what happened at all. It's never happened, Samuel.
Yeah, it's happened to me once or twice, but it was usually some fucking.
Yeah, but it's usually my internet, and my internet didn't go out because the internet didn't go out because I was still talking with you guys in the backstage where we're going. Right. So welcome back, everybody, from the first half of it. We are still here. As I guess I guess I'll reinstitute the grift. It would be poor showing if I did not.
We don't know what happened, folks. We hadn't said anything that was too egregious this time, so
no, we hadn't. All we did was eulogize Tony Todd, and nothing happened. So, if for those who are to reinstitute the current grift for the stream, chat will get to choose my next gaming stream if we just get 5 super chats. And what that entails of, especially on this particular show, is with Mellow Mondays, you find folks get to make us watch horrible shit within reason. Within reason, it has to be YouTube friendly. The more money you spend, the longer it can be. We have a history of being given things that either make us laugh or make us go, why, God, why? So you can do that. So welcome back, everybody. As I was saying, other than that, I only have one more article to go over. We were talking about random Monster World stuff. We finished that conversation. But here's an article I want to bring up. I've been sitting on this. I chose to share to make it for this week instead of for Ballbusters because it's more of a discussion we can have. Apparently, research shows that women prefer to play sexy characters. Who'd have thunk that? Who'd have thunk that? Yeah. Study titled
put that bitch Sophatia up there.
I mean, well, listen, we all would prefer Ivy. Ivy is our.
I'm a tacky man. I don't know what you're talking about.
Man. Oh, you're a tacky man.
Gal's a fan of Sophatia.
I would listen. Yeah. I'm not into domination shit, but I'd risk it with Ivy. I'd risk it.
But have you seen Sophatia's move where she jumps up, like clamps her thighs around your face and then twists and breaks your neck?
I played Soul Calibur.
I want to go
Soul Edge, okay, and I played all the way up to Soul Calibur 4 before I tapped out finally.
Yeah, I played all of them too.
Yeah, I mean, I never played 5 or 6 because at that point it was a point where I had literally nobody left to play with, and it got boring just playing everybody's stories by myself. And they were monkeying with the RPG adventure ship where you make your own character. It wasn't as good as the previous versions. And at the same time, they were instituting online play, and I didn't want to play people online. I wanted to play my friends.
Soul Calibur 3 was probably the peak of that series. And that's where they first introduced, like, you create your own character and you go on a whole side adventure that is actually almost a separate entire game built into this game. And it was incredible.
Yeah, you're like, you're fighting some ruthless emperor and shit like that. You're going down the maps. You could have your roster of your favorite of your stable, and I had a whole
three did that the best. I don't think they've ever been able to duplicate how awesome that fucking mode was.
It was great. Yeah, I enjoyed the hell out of that because I basically brought my stable to life that I bring to life whenever I can. It was fantastic. I loved every second of it. And fortunately, there were weapons that fit the weapon styles that I wanted. Dual wielding katanas, big ass sword, single handle sword. It was great. I loved it. That was so much cool. So apparently, though, a new study entitled "Examining How Sex Appeal Causes and Strength Cues Influence Impressions of Female Video Game Characteristics," that's a mouthful, was recently published, which sought to examine how men and women reacted to sexualization in video games. The experiment was set up using custom characters in Soul Calibur 6, with multiple characters being created to represent sexualization and strength in varying degrees. In this case, 4 characters were made to represent high sexualization and high strength, high sexualization and low strength, low sexualization and high strength, low sexualization and low strength. Unsurprisingly, while women stated that they disliked characters who were highly sexualized, women would choose to play them when given the opportunity. Meanwhile, male players
Because they lied.
Yeah, because they lied. Because meanwhile, male players chose female characters who looked strong. When speaking with SciPost researcher Teresa Lynch shared her thoughts on the premise of her experiment. Sexism pervades gaming. For example, game content overwhelmingly features male characteristics to the exclusion of sensual female or gender minoritized characters. Games that do feature female or gender minoritized characters often unfavorably stereotype and objectify these groups. In online game experiences, men and boys target women, girls, gender minoritized individuals with sexist and harassing communication. Bullshit.
You know what that is? You can dumb that down to a lot shorter. Did a study, it disproved my theory, so here's all my bullshit.
Mhm.
That's what it is. It sounds like.
Yeah. Listen, I've been playing video games all my life, many decades. And ever since character creation and customization became a thing, or varied rosters of characters like Soul Calibur, where the men are men and the women are women, I've never heard anybody complain about being harassed. And you know what the reality is, and you guys can attest to this. Most of the time in games, especially online games, where you're creating a character, men will make chick characters and make them fucking smoke shows.
Mhm.
Most of those are dudes behind that. And the girls that are behind it, when people find out they're girls, they're treated with the utmost respect, because when the nerds find out the chicks are actually playing, it gets them all excited. The girls are playing with us. Oh yeah, I hope they're hot. That's how it is. There is no dudes harassing chicks. And if they're using examples like Call of Duty and lobbies,
Yeah.
That's not
Call of
that's-
Duty.
yeah.
That's an entirely
Yeah.
different fucking subset of gaming,
Yeah.
right? If you can't hang in Call of Duty, that is your fucking problem.
Yeah.
First of all, secondly, that is not indicative in any way of the rest of fucking multiplayer gaming.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the thing is that they think any harassment towards women is somehow a special thing. It's not. It's them being treated the exact same as the guys. Why? Because when we're playing games, we talk shit on each other. We call each other a bitch. We say, "Get good, scrub." We freaking rag on each other. Women come into that space, and what? We're supposed to just exclude them from that? Then we'd be called sexist because we're not treating them the same. You can sit there and maybe point out that there are certain insults you'll use towards women that you wouldn't towards men, but it's the same thing. There are insults I'd use towards a man that I wouldn't towards a woman. It's just how we interact. It's just how we talk. That's human, the way we work.
You're absolutely right. And there are very few exceptions. I mean, most of the girls I play with, they're nice girls. When I play them online, they're nice girls. They're family girls. They have husbands. They have kids. And they're sweet, nice people. And we would never talk to them like that because they're nice. At the same time, when things get heated, they will curse as hard as any of us do when things are getting crazy, or if they feel like somebody's being a bitch ass. And not to mention, though, especially there are then also this section of girls who are even more filthy trash talkers than we are when shit hits the fan in the game. Okay, so this feels like to me more fake gamer bullshit if this chick is saying that stuff. She goes on, though. She went to express surprise at the results of her first experiment in the series of 2, where men and women were asked to offer their opinions on the aforementioned character archetypes. Women surprisingly expressed dislike but also preferred sexualized characters. I was surprised by the fact that participants in our studies disliked the sexualized female characters. I think especially among younger generations who have grown up with social media and intuitively understand how media perpetuate impossible beauty standards, there's increasing scrutiny and critique around the sexual objectification. For the next part, I once again call bullshit.
Surprise, women can't make up their minds.
I also call bullshit because, not on that. I call bullshit on the fact that whenever I've heard girl gamers talk about hot chicks in games, they want the hot chicks in games. I've never heard anybody complain that something's been objectified.
Nobody wants to role play as the fat amputee in the wheelchair. I'm sorry.
Unless you're playing Dragon Age the Veilguard.
No, still nobody wants that.
But yeah, nobody wants it because it's not a thing. Even as the amputee, they don't want to be seen in a game like that. It's ridiculous and dumb. That said, I was surprised to see that in our first study, women still selected the most sexualized character when asked which character they would choose to play. It's important to remember that this character was also rated as the most feminine, so it's possible the women were just selecting the character they most identified with.
It's Ivy, isn't it?
What did I say? I don't think it says here what it was, but the fact that a woman, no matter what she looks like, wants to identify with the busty smoke show bombshell in a game, gee, color me surprised. It's ridiculous. People want to look hot in games because it's a fantasy. It's not you. You're immersing yourself in a situation that will never exist. And that's the fun of it, especially if you're custom creating a character. The second experiment in the same study had men and women actually play the character instead of just observing. The result here was that the women tended to identify the strong characters as more competent. Meanwhile, men appeared to be more open-minded and didn't significantly conflate a woman's physical stature with her competence. In recent years, international agencies and governing bodies have become increasingly concerned about the representation of women. Oh, go fuck yourself. UN. Oh, yeah, UN go fuck itself. Like, yeah, we're waiting for the UN to let us what they know about gaming. Shut up.
Yeah.
Shut up.
Finish the sentence, dude.
I know. Most recently, United Nations Committee on Elimination of Discrimination Against Women, CEDAW, has criticized Japan for its depictions of women hypothetically contributing to violence against women and girls.
Okay, so this is bullshit. This is 100% bullshit. This is have your cake and eat it too bullshit. And the reason is because I either take women out of games altogether, right? And then you don't have any depictions of, contributing to violence against women and girls, or treat them like equals. Those are your options. They want fucking both. They can't have both.
Yeah. All I know is that I forget. It was another article last week or the week before where this came up again, this UN committee against the violence against women and girls. I think we were talking about Japan. I think was it Anime Odyssey last month? I think Dermy and I were talking about they're using this to also, the UN's using this shit to also go after the manga and anime industry in Japan.
Yeah.
Under the purview of this bullshit.
Years ago, when I was still doing some amateur cage fighting and shit like that, one of my roommates and good friends, still a good friend to this day, had decided she wanted to get into it too. She started taking boxing lessons and shit, and actually got pretty good at boxing. But she wanted to get into the cage with us and mix it up and stuff because honestly, it's fun as hell and it looks like fun, and she wanted to be a part of it. But that was one of those things where we were just like, look, we don't want to do that. We don't want to let you in, because you're a woman. And she was just like, well, why is that? I was like, well, there are obvious physical disparities there, number one. And number two, we don't need the the double standard, right? I can do anything you can do, but how dare you hit me because I'm a girl kind of shit. So if you put on those gloves and you put a mouth guard in and you step into this fucking cage, right, you get treated like everybody else. And she agreed to it, and she was as good as her word, to her credit. But and obviously we didn't just sit there and beat the ever loving hell out of her or anything. Like if the injury occurred, we stopped the fight and everybody got first aid and shit. I mean, it wasn't like, we were just beating on her for beating on her sake or anything, but it was one of those things. It was like, you accept a certain amount of risk when you step into this ring, right? This is the same shit, but digital.
Yeah. And it's being perpetrated by people, especially when you bring the UN into this, that simply want to get a foothold in and gain the ability to dictate how you run your fucking country. They want to tell Japan what to do in their two of their most profitable industries, gaming and anime manga.
Oh yeah, because they've realized that they can't control these mediums with infiltration anymore because they're being kicked out because it was failing. So now they want to go the other route of making laws that force it, because then you don't have to. It's not about profit. It's not about, these companies can't sit there and say, well, we would love to do your DEI bullshit, but we're not making money and we don't want to close down the company, so we're gonna not do these things. Now, so they're all like, well, we'll just make it where now you legally have to. Now you have to comply. It doesn't matter if it's going to hurt your profit margins, because we just passed the law that says if you don't do it, you can't have your game in our country, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
This is another way of them trying to force the stuff they've been trying to force down our throats for years, but is now being pushed out because it's just not profitable.
That's the point. That is the overriding factor. An industry moves based upon the success of the product. And when you see like the UN getting involved, they see the success of product and they see that as a way to, like Devil just said, they want to get in there, they want to control you, they want to dictate you, they want to tell you how to do your shit, and they figure it's a great way to indoctrinate. Problem is, in this current world we live in, filled with internet autists and people who are constantly watchdogging this shit, because that's essentially what we do. That's essentially what we do a lot of in our sphere. We're watchdogging shit. We're letting people know whether or not something is good or not. And the fact that everybody will instantly say, "Oh, look, here's this new thing." Well, let's just use, for example, Dragon Age: The Veil Guard, this massive woke indoctrination thing where you can't disagree with your companions. You must affirm them, because that's what's come out in the past week now, since it launched. We're just over a week since Dragon Age Veilguard launched. You cannot disagree with your companions. You must affirm their retarded decisions to support them in every degenerate way they want to be supported in. You don't get to actually shape the story. The story is going to happen no matter what you do. People who are watching this stuff call out and say, "Oh, look, yes, they're pushing degenerate ideas. They're pushing agenda-driven shit. Don't buy it." And guess what? It's coming out now, and I didn't want to, but I guess we're going to sort of tie this to Dragon Age Veilguard as an example. The game is a complete disaster and a failure. How many units do you guys think it's sold at this point? Digital and physical.
I don't know if I would venture to hazard a guess. I think that probably the majority of people who actually bought a copy are streamers and reviewers, not gamers.
Well, estimations have right now. There are estimations that are based upon information that's been gotten and confirmed several times. Roughly 500,000 units.
Ouch.
And roughly a large percentage of that has either been returned on Steam or sold back to GameStop. I have an article here. It dropped right before we went live. and I was wondering if I was going to do it.
How many of those purchasers have active streaming channels on YouTube or Twitch?
Big. Well, a lot of them are on freaking X, and with the bad ones are on the fake fans are. But yeah, so that's a good question. There are a lot of people who are doing this for the showing it off, and like when Az started streaming Veilguard, he got over 100,000 views on his first stream of it.
Mahler's doing really well with it too.
Yeah, now the view count is steadily declining because people have seen enough of it and they're not coming back. But their initial first week, massive views. I might have even gotten a really great section of that pie if I had been able to do it. In the end, I am also thankful that I didn't do it because this game would have hurt me from what I've seen
personally.
Yeah, this was personal. This is what the destruction of Isabella, the destruction of Morgan. Can I spoil something that we knew was going to happen? And we said if it did happen, would we fuck this game? Do you guys care if I spoil something?
Go ahead.
Yeah, they killed Varric.
Yeah, I knew it. I knew they were.
Yeah, we figured they would.
Yeah, they killed Varric by the end of it, and they tried to make Solus sympathetic with everything he's doing, all this stuff. And I want to get into another part of that in a second, but back to the point of the sales. This is now some tangible evidence of how bad it is and how worthless this game is. The trade-in value has already plummeted after 1 week.
Jeez.
GameStop has it listed at only $22, and that means pristine.
Oh,
that means barely out of the package, as compared to, they say here, compared to other stuff that's come out recently, like Legend of Zelda: Echoes of Wisdom came out in September. It's still worth $33. Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, $27.50. This game is a failure. Now, Dre, our good friend Dre, who has worked in the video game industry, development industry, we know this game was in development hell for a decade. And some people are saying, oh, it needed to make a few $100 million to break even. According to Dre, considering how much time and effort was put into this from when because he worked with Bethesda on Fallout games, so he knows what it's like to work on a big budget, big title game. Dre says this thing needs $1.5 billion to break even because of its development hell. That's what he says. That's what he says. And we've already documented that Inquisition, its lifetime unit sales was 12.5 to 13 million copies. In today's prices, that's only roughly around, I think it was either 845 or 875 million. That means in order to break even, Veilguard needed to sell lifetime 15 million units.
Here's the thing is, this is probably the one that hurts the most of the tail end of the DEI. Yeah. Because like I said, I believe it's all changing. I believe in the next couple of years we're out of this. The tides have turned in this. I wouldn't say we won, but we survived it. But this one, even though it would have sucked having, because it was delayed for so long and has gone through so many, if they just waited a couple more years, because this one sucks that it got caught up in the shit storm and didn't get out without being affected, because I really was looking forward to this back after Inquisition.
So was I. I mean, we talked about it endlessly on this particular stream, the three of us. This has been one of my favorite franchises of all time. I very much doubt I can go back and play the other three games ever again at this point. I don't know if I can, knowing that I will never get a real. I don't consider this the real conclusion to the story.
Yeah,
I don't.
I wouldn't.
With what they did.
I think we're not getting a real conclusion to the story. That's not going to happen.
Because there will be anything. Because there's not even DLC for this game for the first time ever. No DLC. They've put everybody on Mass Effect 5 now, in hopes to save the company.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, which is also not going to happen. But unless they completely change, how they're doing things, like, because Andromeda was pretty far gone too in certain ways. I could play Origins and 2 pretty easily again because those games still stand up on their own. I mean,
We had a
I
great
think they're great
time
fucking games.
in
The last
September.
time I tried to play Inquisition, though, I got past the first the initial part of it when you get to by the time you get to Skyhold, and I just found it tedious. Which is, to be fair, it's like my 6th time playing through. So I was
Same
just
with
like,
me. That was what
yeah,
that first with the looming Veilguard, but also the fact that when I was doing my playthrough, I was having to do the same things I've done like you 6 or 7 times already.
yeah.
I just wasn't enjoying myself as much as I had in the past. And
To be
it was
fair, it was more. I had more recently played Inquisition than I have Origins or 2 either. So like I could go back. Probably there's enough time has passed since I've played those 2 games that I could probably play them pretty easily now.
but to your point, I agree with you. Now I hadn't played it. It had been according to my last save file, it had been 2017 or 18 was the last time I played Inquisition, and I had stalled out in the middle of that game too. And that was just private play. So as much as I love Inquisition, when you've played it 6 or 7 times, the replay value does drop because I've played it every which way I can. There's no surprises if there's nothing new to do, unless I decide to F somebody different for the first time. That would be about it. Like I never did F Iron Bull, but that was never going to happen because I can't.
Did you fuck Cullen?
As a girl, yes.
Because he swings both ways. That's all I'm saying.
As
I enjoy my friends talking about fucking dudes. It's
but there's two
so
things
the
I want to
conversation I want to have.
There's 2 things I want to bring up. I don't know whether this person is serious or not by posting this, but remember when we talked about how the game was early copies described it as playing God of War 2018? Right here, no volume needed, no audio needed. This looks like fucking God of War 2018. Look at this. This is not a Dragon Age game.
That running around looks weird.
Well, it's sped up a little bit.
Okay. Well, no, the movement, just the way the move. Even if you slowed it down, it looks kind of weird. Like I don't know.
But this is not a Dragon Age game.
Yeah.
This isn't. This is some sort of, I think, Blight Beast. Because
honestly, this looks a little bit like God of War 3.
But you know what I mean? It's God of War-ish is what I'm either way. No matter what God of War you're saying, it's God of War-ish. There's no flavor of this at all. And also, when we were talking about relationships. One of the things that I have been documenting, I have admittedly in the past several days since Tuesday, I've turned up my trolling just a notch on X Twitter. Those of you who know what I normally do, there's an added thing I've started doing in some cases because I feel like this is a moment in time to squash some of this shit. And so I'm being a little extra aggressive. I know I am, but I've really turned it up even hotter on some of these Veilguard stands that are hanging out on X Twitter. And what I've seen, everything I said a week ago, still confirmed. They care more about who they F in this game than the actual game. Or they cry about what the story did to them instead of the gameplay. That they and I saw one thing where it said, one character noticed how you like your drink. And I realized they've turned this into a goddamn dating simulator.
Yeah.
That is the audience they've done. And the audience they have, and you guys can appreciate my annoyance with this as longtime Dragon Age players. We all play the game, and not to take devil's joke too far, but we all play the game romancing in certain ways. Okay? Everybody who posts on X Twitter right now who is trying to pretend this game is a success, they all insist that the Inquisitor was always an elf female and that they romance Solus. And everything Solus says in Veilguard is in relation to his romance that he had with that character. The majority is like, and this is the problem when you get this audience that doesn't care about what other players are doing. They only care about what they are doing in their narcissistic way. They are forcing this idea that this is how the game is. And it's nauseating and it's oppressive. At least it is to me.
So things like that, things like the Inquisitor is canonically an elf female because Solo said this or that. Like none of that is accurate. None of that is canon.
Yeah.
There are certain events, certain through line events that are, of course, canon. Like the blight is ended by the Warden one way or the other in the first game. And the Inquisitor, one way or the other, defeats Corypheus and then gets, tricked by Solus, right? The interpersonal relationship shit, aside from the Morrigan baby thing, isn't canon.
Mm-hmm.
None of it is. That's why the games were set up the way they were, so that you could play them any way you wanted to.
Exactly.
Obviously, some things have to happen at certain points, but they none of that is fucking canon. So they can't. I mean, they can go around saying that shit, I guess, but they're wrong.
They constantly going, oh, he's talking about whatever. I think the term is leveling or however you refer. I didn't do Solus when I was my female elf.
Lethaline, yeah.
Lethaline, thank you. Lethalines like, oh, the Lethaline comment, and here comes Menetherin to come and help him in his final moment. It's all screw all of you. And the Inquisitors, they're all this schmaltzy.
That was the most Jewish thing you've ever said.
I've said many Jewish things. Here's the schmaltzy fagula bullshit that they're using with Solus and all this stuff. It's repulsive because it's not Dragon Age. Solus at the end of Inquisition is a villain. He has just declared war on the world, and they took that away in this game. Apparently, from what I understand, you're helping him stop the other gods from rising in or some shit. And he gives you this lyrium dagger, and you've got lyrium poisoning or something. But it's all about, he's not really a bad guy, everybody. He's doing save it. But then he does get corrupted by his Dreadwolf persona. This is why I would want to play the game. Because this is me on the periphery of it. And it's still doing something.
It's turning you into Mel Brooks.
Yeah. Even if, there was something to that, corruption of Fen'Harel, Solus is the persona. Solus is the mask. Yeah. Always has been. Fen'Harel is who he is.
Yeah. So, and I am glad that this is such a disaster. Because if this could just end it, just end it. Put it out of its misery. Just freaking end it. All new, all different BioWare. Fuck it. Fuck it. Let them burn. I have no legitimate hope for Mass Effect 5 right now.
Honestly, dude, I think that there's a very real chance that Mass Effect 5 gets axed in the development stage because of how fucking badly BioWare is losing EA's money on this.
Oh, well, that's one of the predictions. This is going to do so bad that EA is going to shut down BioWare.
And there will be no Mass Effect 5.
Is Mass Effect 5, are they already deep into the development or just started?
3 years. We got the first trailer with Liara in it in 2022, I believe.
I believe with how bad this Dragon Age has done, I think you're going to see them go back and redo a lot of stuff. Like, I don't know if they'll do it from scratch. I don't think they'll be like, we're going to trash it and just start from scratch. But I think they're going to be like major changes are being done to the process because...
To your point, in order to finish Veilguard, they brought in teams from Mass Effect to finish it, which is why I believe it's a 3-man team system where you have no control over your AI, which is very Mass Effect-y. That's a very Mass Effect thing. And I believe that, and right after this came out, when this game was getting trashed during the first week, we would have talked about it last week if we'd been on the show. The Mass Effect current game director, Michael Gamble, said, we're not Dragon Age, we're Mass Effect. We are not going to change the animation style. It's going to still be photorealistic. We are still going to adhere to what makes Mass Effect. So please don't hate us, essentially. Don't associate us with what's going on in Dragon Age. But
that's such a cop-out.
Well, I mean, what I hope is The only chance Mass Effect 5 has is if they look at what happened with Veilguard and say, we need to go do a complete 180 and go in the opposite direction and go as freaking hardcore gamer as possible.
Well, but that's exactly it. The stuff he mentioned, though, we're not changing our style. Yeah, there is a people not liking how the new Dragon Age look and stuff. But he's totally missing the point that that's not what's driving people away. It's that it doesn't feel like the thing because the message has interfered with the game and the writing and all that. I don't care if it looks just like Mass Effect. I'm like, oh, it looks like Mass Effect, but the first thing that is Shepard comes out and says I'm non-binary. Of course, it won't have Shepard on, right? So I mean, but if the first thing that comes out is some message bullshit that I'm like sitting there going, oh god, go fuck yourself. I'm not gonna play it. They have to dump all that. They have to. So if they have 3 years of that shit put in there, the only way they're going to get sales, it doesn't matter if it's Mass Effect and that's a huge game. The only way they're going to get sales is by literally going in there, cutting out every single thing and gutting the damn thing. If it's anything like this, where every other sentence is some, message, they're going to get fucked.
And so. I hope they realize that. That's the only chance this game has, is they realize it and understand that the era of DEI, agenda-driven woke bullshit, it's ending. And I think it's going to take at least 3 years for it to completely work out of the system. And we've got a few more things coming out that are going to be god-awful. But I remain hopeful that we are out of it and we're on the way out of it and things will return to good game developers making good games. And now this game is, like I said, it's been in the work at least for 3 years, I think. Considering how slow they work, I'm pretty sure we won't see this game before the end of the decade.
Yeah.
I just this pace they're working. And in fact, to what Samuel's point before, I kind of don't want it to happen. I'm kind of happy. I hope it. More than half of me hopes it doesn't happen. That EA, because this is all BioWare has left. Mass Effect 5. That's all they have left. They've got no other projects because they don't even run SWTOR anymore. They sold off SWTOR to a different company. An entirely different company runs Star Wars: The Old Republic now. It's not BioWare or BioWare Blue, whatever was running it in Texas at some point. They have all BioWare has. Now that Dragon Age: The Veilguard is out there and tanking for the world to see, is Mass Effect 5. So, and now EA came out during the Veilguard release and pretended to be completely okay with Dragon Age Veilguard. CEO and everything came out and said, we're happy. We think it's going to do well because there's no competition. Well, we see what's happening now. It's failing. I can bring it up right now because I keep it bookmarked while we're still discussing it. The Steam chart for Dragon Age right now, it has literally it never broke 100,000. Its peak was 89,418 a couple days after the launch, and its current 24-hour peak is 47,000. Here's where we are. Over the weekend, its peak was only about 60,000 over the weekend. And this was also its low. So nobody's playing this game. Nobody's buying this game. It's losing money. People were returning it. Rumor has it there have been at least 30,000 returns on Steam. And remember, the Steam qualification is that you have like 2 weeks, but you have to play less than 2 hours to get a return. So that means people played this for like an hour, maybe hour and a half, and said, "F this, I'm out."
Yeah.
This has been resoundingly rejected, and I don't trust the mostly positive reviews because the stands, they're organized, they can social media shit up. This game has been nothing but a failure, and like Samuel alluded to, this could be the end of BioWare. EA EA is a soulless company. Say your thing, and I don't want to make a comment. So go ahead, you say something.
No, I'm. The video game industry, anybody who knows companies knows when a company starts to lose a shit ton of money, they hire headhunters or whatever they're called to come in and cut the fat and find ways to change stuff up so that the company starts making profit again. They need to have that for video games, like legitimately. They need to hire people that will go in there and say, look, bring all the team in and say, look, whatever it would fall under the woke ideal stuff, we're cutting out of the game. And if you're not on board with that, you're going to get the hell out of here. And they need like dramatic changes to happen if they're going to save the gaming industry. Because right now, all we have that people are looking forward to are indie games and small company games. All these AAA titles are dead. They're just not profitable anymore.
That's the thing. I agree with something that Alf says, that the gaming industry is not monolithic. It is pretty separated. It's not centralized, a little decentralized. The AAAs, they're in trouble. But the indie is thriving, and what we might get out of this is the next wave of AAA companies may rise out of the indie sphere, the AA sphere, who are making good games, making quality games, giving customers what they want. And some of the surviving AAAs, despite the fact that some people are pushing a very, I would say, incorrect story about Square Enix right now with their stock pricing getting hit and this and that. Square Enix has just come out of their worst year ever, and they are still in the process of putting shit back together. So yeah, it's a bumpy road, but they're still putting out the games right now. There's Romancing Saga, Scarlet Empire, or something like that. I'm planning on getting it for Christmas. It looks like a really good game. That is getting rave reviews by everybody, and that's a Square Enix game. Everybody's loving it. There's a bunch of other SE titles coming out over the next few months that look really traditional, very fun, that I'm looking forward to picking up and playing. Square Enix is getting it right. They admitted they were wrong. They said, we fucked up and we're fixing it. We showed you what we're going to do. But it's not going to be something overnight. It's only been like 6 months since they finished their restructure and started to build. But some people out there are busy going, oh, look, their prices are dropping. Square Enix is dying because their ethics department, the mythical ethics department, which nobody seems to be able to find anymore, which they said they dissolved, but people claim, oh, it's still there. They can't seem to find it. They presented no evidence that the ethics department is still destroying anything. Oh, DEI is infected Square Enix. There's no return. There is a return. It's taking time. They're moving in the right direction. Why don't we let it work? And they will continue to suffer the fallout of their mistakes, but, let it happen. They self-corrected. But it's a self-correction that's going to take the rest into next year, at least another half a year or more to finish doing it. And other companies are going to, I think, self-correct as they watch us. And it's going to be out of Japan. Western companies are fucked. They're fucked because the DEI infestation, the Sweet Baby Ink infestation, it's penetrated like a parasite that has cancer. It's a parasite that has cancer. That's how bad it is. And it's opens the doors and let other parasites that have other diseases come in and ruin it even more. Most Western companies need to be dissolved. And the problem is we have several different things going on. Think about it like this. I put out this metaphor, and I think you guys agree with it. Just to choose 3 things: Microsoft, Sony, and Microsoft, Sony, EA, and Nintendo. Okay, those are the biggest companies out there. 3 of which gobble everybody up. Okay, you've got. We'll start with Nintendo, who doesn't gobble anybody up. But Nintendo's that autistic kid in the corner that will make some brilliant shit. But if you go over them and try to touch them, they're going to throw a fit. They don't like to be bothered, but they generally give you good shit. Okay, that's Nintendo. Then you've got Sony. Sony isn't evil; they're just retarded. They do retarded shit. They do retarded reactionary shit that pisses people off because they never take the time to read the fucking room. They're not inherently evil. Microsoft is inherently evil, I believe, with the shit they've been doing forever. They're inherently evil with how they gobble up corporations and ruin every dev company they absorb and push all this shit. And EA is just a soulless beast that wants to squeeze you for every last bit of money you have. That they'll put on a smile on your face. They'll say, oh, look, we're doing this for you. We're trying to make your great gaming experience. But, oh, here's another Madden game filled with live service that we know you're going to buy like good artards, and therefore just squeeze you for money. More live service.
Yeah, it makes me sad because EA used to put out some fun games like the Road Rash series.
Oh, yeah, man. Dude, original NBA Live from EA Sports, 97, 98, 99. It's around 2000 where it started to get really bad, and they started losing their ability to make a game. Those were fantastic games. That was like a weekend thing where me and my buddies. I'm the guy that bought the multiplayer, the multi-tap that you'd plug into the PS1, so that we could all play at the same time. It was mine. I'm the one that bought one, so that we could. It was usually me and a couple of guys, my buddies. It was usually a 2-on-1. They'd play on one team and I'd solo play. That's how good I was. I could play 2 other dudes at the same time, and I know how gay that sounds, so shut up. But I could play 2 other dudes at the same time on NBA Live, and I kicked their ass. All right,
taking on more than one dude.
I knew there was no way around it, so I committed to it. Okay, I was not gonna get out of that without sounding horribly gay. All right, I admit it. But that was how it used to be. They used to be great. They used to make great games, and then they made early on when Mass Effect and Dragon Age before they became the soulless thing that they are. But that's how I describe those companies, and I feel that's fairly accurate of how they all behave. Just it's my perspective on that. Ski. What does that even mean, Weasel? What does that even mean? I don't even know what that means.
I'm not sure what that means, but it sounds awesome.
I don't even know what that means. God damn. All right.
Oh, I got it.
Okay.
Oh, fuck, it took me a second, Weasel. That's good. You got one in each hand, buddy. Getting snowballed.
Shut up. Diesel, I'm not gonna res you next time the bugs destroy you in Starship Troopers. I'm gonna leave you to die.
That was good, Weasel.
Yeah. So, but this. I hate to say it, much like with this past election cycle, this kind of had to happen. Oh, she is in this game, I believe. Somebody posted something here. I actually have it. Hang on, I have it. Let me bring it up. And I even commented on it. It's on my Twitter. Let me get to it right here. We go down. I have it right here. I believe she is in the game because this came up in something where somebody tried to be gay about it, and I called them out on it.
She's still like Chicky Rourke.
They still have her in there, and it says unavailable. Inquisitor male must select Cassandra as his romantic partner. So, and this looks like Inquisition shit right here. I mean, sorry, it looks like Veilguard shit because that doesn't look like backgrounds from anything. Yeah. To which this person replied, "Oh, but everybody else is pansexual. Previous choices don't matter. Why not?" So, yeah. Screw them. All right, let me stop sharing so you don't see my studio. Question from Akuma13. Will this be the end? No more Dragon Age events after this? I think it's over.
Yeah, it's done.
I think it's done because for the simple fact there's no DLC. Because remember, every other game, the DLC's connected to the next game. Because Witch Hunt. Well, do you include what was the expansion name in Origins? Shit, I just forgot it.
Awakenings?
Awakenings, thank you. I wanted to say, I thought, yeah, Awakenings, thank you. Awakenings, but then you include Witch Hunt, that connects to Inquisition. Oh, I'm sorry, connects to Dragon Age 2, because you're setting the stage and you learn about what's going on in Kirkwall a little bit. But also it lines up for what's going on later in Inquisition. And then in Dragon Age 2, the Corypheus DLC, that definitely sets up Inquisition. And then Inquisition with the final DLC set up for what was Rise of the Dreadwolf.
Yeah.
So I do think that it is over. I think it's done. The no DLC is a sign there's nothing going to happen. There's no follow-up. And the same fact that, look at this, it's the monetary disaster. The sales alone.
Free advice for them. What they should do is say, we are going to make DLC. And the DLC is a group of missions that essentially turns back the clock, erases everything that happened in this game so that they can try again.
Well, you know what's funny? You guys ever played Dragon Quest XI?
No.
No.
When you play Dragon Quest 11, no real I apologize for spoilers, but the game's been out for like 5 years, so fuck you, you're upset. Um, in Dragon Quest 11, you play the entire main game, and when you reach the end of it, certain characters died, certain events happen, and everything kind of goes to shit. And you get an opportunity to go back in time to a certain point before everything happens. So literally the entire post game is going back and doing everything right from a certain point so all the bad shit doesn't happen. So you essentially almost replay the entire flipping game. So there is certain franchises have done that in the past, although they're not going to do that on this one. It would this would be the equivalent of having the balls to at this point in time throw out everything Disney Star Wars has done since Force Awakens. And they won't do that because they believe still that it's winning when in fact it isn't.
Well, the thing is that would be the only thing that can save it,
That's the problem.
is to essentially act like this game never existed. Because if you let it sit on this game, if you say we're gonna do another Dragon Age, and it continues from this, you're gonna have a lot of people who aren't gonna be interested because they don't know the story, and they don't want to play this game.
Yeah.
So the only thing I could see saving it would be to somehow essentially erase this game from being part of the story, like destroy that canon, say it doesn't no longer exist.
That would take that would be it would have to be a new development company doing it where they're not
which
beholden.
is possible.
Which listen, other franchises have done that.
Off franchises.
I mean, look, Fallout New Vegas. They said fuck you to everything Fallout had been doing up to that point, and said we're going to do something different. And when Bethesda got it back, they were all pissed off at what Obsidian did, and they tried to erase what Obsidian did.
They did try to erase it, but it wasn't what Obsidian did. It's that Obsidian did it better than Bethesda.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
That's what I mean.
Exactly.
So,
yeah.
I mean, if another studio gets a hold of it, it wouldn't be out of I would give it a chance, honestly. Now, I think Dragon Age is done. I think it's over.
It's done too.
I don't care what they did in this. There's no this dating simulator game they created where because it really is. It's everything they said it was going to be from all points observed. It's more about your companions. It's not about anything else. It's about the companions. Yeah. It's not about the world of Thetis or wherever you are in Thetis. I mean, I saw a map of the game. I don't know if I saved it. I think I had saved it, but I don't think I have it anymore. It showed the map of what Veilguard looked like. Let me check my bookmarks, see if it's still there.
I would like to point out right quick that all the shit that we get for being who we are and saying we like a thing or we don't like a thing online, right? Usually comes with insults, usually comes with names, and like incel, for example, right?
Yeah.
I'm just going to point this out here. Dating simulators are made solely for otaku and incels.
Yeah.
And if this is a dating simulator and you guys love it, I mean,
yeah. I mean, right now,
yeah,
you're right. I mean, Akuma 13 is a good point. Despite the success of Baldur's Gate 3, the company that had it right now, they're not going to make a BG4. They're not going to. They're moving on to a different project. There's no DLC for Baldur's Gate 3. There's nothing. It's just there. Now, that game has had its success, whether people agree with it or not. But I listen, I would love nothing more than to get the Bioware of old bag where they're going to make shit and make great shit. But I think Bioware's time is over, and that pains me. That's the thing I didn't want to have happen out of all this. I didn't want to see Bioware go under, and that's why I was critical of people going, oh, no, Bioware's in trouble, ha ha ha. If you're celebrating the end of Bioware as a whole, despite the fact that it has been sketchy for years now, I don't trust you as a person to have a legitimate take or a legitimate conversation with, because I hate seeing Bioware ending before my eyes. I hate it.
I hated seeing it corrupted before my eyes. I'm not going to shed that many tears, dude.
Well, I mean, you know what I mean, though. It should not be
Yeah.
celebrated that it's over. It should be mourned and the acceptance happen. But you know what I'm saying. I mean, I'm
Sure, but it's like having a grandpa who's dying of cancer for 10 fucking years, man. I made my peace years ago.
That's different. No, that's different. But you're not. Are you cheering right now happily that it's dead?
No, I don't cheer anybody going under.
But that's
ever.
what there are certain people doing. That's my point. There are certain people cheering at the destruction of BioWare. You making peace with it a long time ago, long before that I have made my peace, clearly, is one thing. I'm talking about the people who are going, yeah, fuck BioWare. Yeah, it's done. Kill it. Yeah. That shouldn't be a thing, in my opinion. Because to me, it means you're just happy to get another scalp in this woke DEI crusade against these companies that have ruined what we love. That's how I perceive that situation.
Well, or conversely, looking to get another scalp against the woke. I mean, there's plenty of guys on who are ostensibly or presumably on our side of the equation who are also cheering shit like this on.
Yeah,
and it's taking shit too far, man. It's like BioWare was a big part of my life for a long fucking time. I'm not going to cheer for that. I might shout with joy just a little bit, if something happens to EA, but that's because
different story.
EA is the
different
story.
Devil. That's the corporation, and EA has been a fucking nightmare for gamers for 20 years now. Since 15, no, 20 years. The mid 2000s when they really started to do their heel turn. That's different. That's corporation. I'm talking little development company that got swallowed by the bigger corpo.
Yeah,
like BioWare.
I think Weasel makes a good point here.
Yeah,
you misspelled communism, but yeah.
Well, no, he probably had to get it through the YouTube. Is what my
yeah.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah. You're absolutely right. Yeah. And yeah, it's not. Yeah, to what Akuma's saying. Yes, to bypass censor. Yeah, it's not new news, but to what you're saying here, the ones that are over the hype of this fall is new folks who by chance are just saying, yeah, these are people who are. I don't really have a label for them, but I think of them as disingenuous actors in this whole culture war that we're in. And to me, you can spot them by the fact that they never give you the full story on something. They'll only give a part of it as long as it pushes their narrative so that they can keep pushing and having you come back to listen to what they say, that we're taking it to the DEI companies, we're taking it to Sweet Baby and all that stuff, or the people that just repost stuff and go, ha, 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 and never really have discussion or commentary. They just put it up there to get traction and interactions. Or the people who, and some of you might be able to read into what I say here, the people who are kind of giddy to go into something like a Dragon Age Veilguard without our background of being into it for a long time. They're giddy. They go into it just so they can say, "Oh yeah, look, I did it. It was horrible. It was DEI. It was horrible, woke nonsense." But they don't have a history of actually loving the franchise. They just did it because it's their next scalp to get. And it's those disingenuous actors that I have a problem with, because I don't trust them in terms of being real. I mean, are you gonna, when this ends, and it inevitably will end, or at the very least recede into a weaker state, when you don't have these things that made you who you are as the DEI crusader, because that's what we're talking about here, what are you going to do then? Where are you going to shift your attention? Are you going to shift your attention to things that are, I don't want to say infected, but might show some little sign of something, or at the very least may not fit what you believe should be something completely returned to a state of normalcy? Will you then turn your attention to that and manufacture something just to stay relevant with your audience, just to keep feeding your content to people who expect you to be the great DEI warrior, what are you going to do when you don't have this scalp to hunt for anymore? Because that's what you built it on. So that's that's my problem with our side of this fight, that there are certain people who are in it just to get scalps, just to get attention, just to get, and listen, you're going to make your money, fine. I have no problem with that. But at least be upfront about what you're doing. Just acknowledge your grift. Just like when I do my grift, I acknowledge my grift. But then again, I don't stray too much from what I am into, which is why I feel that I remain organic and genuine with my points, my takes, my experiences, my entertainment, my providing you guys stuff to my content. I don't stray too far from what I always talk about. You're right now, perfect example. We all know I am not really a first-person shooter player. That's not what I play. Look at my history of gaming on this channel. Look at the history of what I've been doing again on Renaissance Road Arcade, where I upload all the games now. I'm RPG, strategy, some action games. Closest I've done right now is Starship Troopers Extermination, but that's kind of a different thing. I'm doing that for co-op and playing in fun, and it's got and it's PvE based. It's not PvP based. If I started playing Black Ops 6, Call of Duty, and started trying to tell you how I look at how I feel about this stuff, having never played anything remotely visible to you guys, never talked about it in my life, and trying to give you hot takes, I would come off as a fucking idiot. Because to be real with everybody, and I've said this in private a couple times, and I'll say it here now, I don't understand the enjoyment of playing Call of Duty Black Ops 6 or any of those types of games. I watch people play it. I don't get it. And it would come off immediately that I don't get it and I don't enjoy it. But if I was just trying to do it to get the clicks, to get in on it, to be a part of the hip game playing, you would pick it up instantly. So I don't play the things I'm interested in. I'm not going to talk about it because I don't get it, and therefore I don't understand it. Therefore, who am I to fucking talk about it? It's not my thing. I don't care if Black Ops 6 does well, and apparently it's doing really well. I don't understand why it is, but it's doing really well because people enjoy that type of PvP warfare. And that's the best example I could give of what if I would do something and you guys would instantly know that I have no business doing it. So there you go. I need a drink again. Sorry.
Yeah, by the way, folks, this is how we know that Adam's not into girls. You don't get them either. You can tell by the way he talks about them.
Sit on and spin.
If you talk to girls that way, no wonder you don't get any.
Fuck you. Listen, I'll let you get it.
That's not what you want him to spin on, Adam. We have to explain this to you again.
God damn it. All right, listen, yeah, fine. Take your shots. I don't give you guys much ammunition. Take your shots, whatever. There's a reason that the lore on this channel and other shows, like when I make our clips for the intros, it's us saying wildly crazy shit. It's because that's what our lore is. There's not the only lore we have for dumping on people is Cloud and Dermy. There's not too much direct stuff. Although, Devil, they keep playing the "You Like Dicks" clip a lot lately. They're playing that a lot lately. You gotta
damn it! No, I don't care.
I like
yeah, I've just come to expect it that being on the pub at least once or twice a year, I'm gonna say something that's just really gonna be embarrassing.
Well, somebody's got it on their soundboard, and while we were playing Starship Troopers the other night, you suddenly I hear you going, "Yeah, I like Dick," and it's like, "Devil, are you here?"
It's funny because a couple of weeks ago, Larry said something completely out of pocket and couldn't figure out why he just said that out loud. And Sasquatch clipped it and sent it to me, and I haven't figured out what I'm going to do with it yet. I think I'm going to use it as a soundbite for something else. But basically, he was talking about Devil. He's like, just having her on the panel makes me multi-orgasmic.
Yeah, so like that was like, whoa.
And he's like, I don't know why I said that. I was like, I don't know either, but I'm clipping the fuck out of it, dude.
Go.
That's the difference between reality and the internet. Is you say shit in front of your friends, you say something stupid, they'll give you shit for 5-10 minutes till it gets out of their head. Internet, no. We're gonna make that live forever.
The problem
fuck
is
ups forever.
we're all writing down timestamps. Dre routinely writes down all the timestamps of what he thinks is the dumbest shit we've said on Roundtable, so that I can add it to the opening montage and move it around. And it's, I mean, listen, without stuff like that, let me see, just without, this is why I like doing those montages. Because it gives us people time to walk in, because people generally don't. With my live streams, everybody shows up when I start. There's not people generally hanging out talking, so I give a good few minutes for people to walk in, and you don't get shit like this without us. You want to see what we were up to. Like, this is one of my favorite things. I have this saved on the clip here. This is we were talking about. I don't remember what we were talking about, but Dre disappears. He said, I have those sunglasses, and he came back and did this.
My name is a pimp named Dreesen, and I believe I've misplaced some merchandise at this residence. Lord Jesus and the shepherds, where is Daddy's money? I will not hesitate for one solitary second to put hands on somebody if I don't have my monies.
I mean, you don't get stuff like that without just the pure fun. And let me go back to the comments here. And yes, are you the same?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know how many other Samuels horror knows. I'm pretty sure it's just me.
She's the only horror we know. So so yeah, it is probably the same Samuel.
I've been on her streams a couple of times, and she's been on my channel a bunch of times. So
so glad you know somebody else here, Akuma. That's good. All right, so I think I've said all I'm going to say about this. I got nothing else. I didn't expect it to go that long in the Dragon Age thing. And between the broken stream from a moment ago, we have been going for over 2 hours now. It is almost 1 a.m. my time. Thanks, Weasel.
I think he was clipping me, but yeah.
I know. I'll take it. Hey, listen. I clip myself. All you got to do is listen. I don't have it on. I do have it on here, but that would be here another 6 minutes, and that's the roundtable thing. Oh, he clipped me. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll grip him harder than he grips me.
Yeah.
Like the other day on Beelzebub, we a serious man during the live stream, right, clipped a bunch of shit and patched it together to make us sound like we were saying some extremely sexually fucked up things about King Charles, and then he managed to finish it, complete it, and he sent it to us before the live stream was over, so we played it. So I played it again on my live stream later that afternoon because it's fucking hysterical.
It's listen, and I even said it in part of the roundtable opening montage. Now, sometimes the things I say at random, I don't know where they come from. It's really a lot of times it's a riff. And sometimes it's gold, and sometimes it's creepy and weird. And either way, it's going to get clipped. Okay. I mean, listen, I don't have it here. All right, here, I'll bring it up. This is the one that I've shown a lot lately, and Samuel knows this one. But I also live for the moment, and this is for some people who may not join us on Roundtable every Sunday. But I live to get a quick take reaction from Dre, because sometimes Dre never knows what I'm going to say or what exactly I'm going to connect to what I'm saying. So let me see if I can find it right here. I'm trying to find it. I forget what I titled it is the problem. Where is it? No, that's the latest Dre hair one, where he talks about his different hairstyles. Oh, wait, no, it's right here. No, is that it? Hang on, let me see if this is it. No, that's part of it. God damn it. I need to remember what I titled these freaking things. That's the problem. No, here it is. I got it. I found the right title. Yeah, this is one of my favorite ones right now, because it caught Drake completely off guard, and I just so happened to also have I just finished watching a particular anime, which allowed me to tack it on. So this is part of the current roundtable opening montage. For those who aren't there, enjoy this one. Samuel's seen this one. Devil, I don't know if you've seen this one. And these tool bags wouldn't know quality if it walked up and motorboated them. Because, you're going to motorboat quality.
Wait, what?
Quality boobs. You want to motorboat quality boobs.
There we go. All better now. Man, titties are the greatest things on earth.
Yes, they are. So that's the kind of stuff you get on Roundtable. That kind of random stuff, and I live to make Dre to catch him off guard. His reactions are glorious when I do that. But that's the kind of fun we have, though. That's our kind of humor. And I put those up there in these montages, just like the opening montage for Mellow Mondays. It's a collection of stuff of us shooting the shit. And sometimes two of them, of course, are Bug's outstanding reactions to stuff we like. The James Bond one, that is one of the best ones ever. No, let me have this.
Yeah, that was good. What's really interesting to me actually is how internet culture develops, because like if you go to each of our channels, we each have lore that's specific to our channels and to specific people at specific times. But there's also kind of this developing overarching lore for all of us who run in the same spheres and like work together constantly.
Yeah. There's a reason we call it incestuous.
Yeah.
Our lore tends to blur. I mean, let's be honest. The Dermy lore, it's across all our channels. It just, unfortunately,
there are people who have never heard of Dermy who make Dermy jokes, or who've never met Dermy who make Dermy jokes.
Yeah. Well, listen, he super chats regularly on Geeks and Gamers, so they know who he is. They've met him at meetups, and I mean, like at the beginning of this one, where I included a clip from when we were doing This Is Mordor Country during Rings of Power, where he made the Jeremy plushie and the Ryan plushie F, and then Weasel, was it you that sent it to Ryan that alerted him to it before I could? And then Kinnell comes on to the chat and Dermy's chat on the simulcast.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah, I think it was Weasel that did it. First of all, I've never played Helldivers, and well, listen, I call Starship Troopers Helldivers without the controversy. And then this is the only gray shirt I have. I have this one. I have like 6 shirts, all monochrome, that I wear in rotation. Okay, I do not have a very large wardrobe. My shirts are usually a color, and that's it. Because as a big and tall fellow, I tend to not buy things that will shrink, and generally shirts that have logos or franchise stuff, they tend to shrink. So I tend to buy stuff that doesn't shrink, and Duluth Trading Company shirts don't really shrink much. They shrink just right and they fit. So I don't have a very wide wardrobe. I need to get some new shirts. These are all wearing thin now. It's been a few years. It wasn't you. Who was somebody who was watching that? I don't remember. Yeah, I'm an anime character. I wear the same stuff all the time. I do. Listen, I'm a very simple man. I have simple tastes. I like dark colors. I don't like bright colors. I like to wear the same jeans that I have. I have 2 pairs of jeans. I wear them in rotation. They're both the same kind. That's it. I have right now I have 2 hats. I wear this one on streaming because it doesn't fit right. I bought it, and if I put the headphones on, it fits right, but I wouldn't wear this out because it doesn't fit right. And I have my regular hat that I wear out and about. I mean, or when I don't feel like combing my hair. Like tonight, I didn't feel like combing my hair. It was.
You have less clothes than hobos.
Yeah, I do. Well, but I also have nice clothes. I mean, I have suits. They're in the closet. I just never wear them. I don't have a reason to wear them.
I guess I can't give you too much shit because I've been having to wear this same shirt many streams as of late, because since I lost all my weight, I got rid of all my warm clothes, and I figured I'd have bought new warm clothes by this point, but I haven't. So this is like literally my only kind of warm shirt, and I'm wearing my only pair of sweats to keep myself from freezing, and so I need to get and buy a new wardrobe.
I try not to wear the same shirts too many days depending on the streaming. Like since I streamed in this tonight, Like tomorrow when I'm on Devil's channel, I will not be wearing the same shirt tomorrow on on Get Ranked tomorrow. Yeah, when I'm replaced by this, you'll know when we know when it's a clone and it's a glowy. When I'm not in there, because I'll suddenly have different things. Listen, I'm gonna get new shirts. I'm waiting for Black Friday. That's when I'm gonna buy some clothes because hopefully they'll beat prices. I'm a cheap date. I don't spend a lot on myself. I don't require a lot to be happy. I require good food, entertainment, and just enough sleep to get to the next day. My high maintenance is only high maintenance to me. It doesn't really affect anybody else. My weird eccentricities only affect me. They don't really affect anybody else. At least I try not to let them affect anybody else. That's how I always put it.
He saves all of his money for the girls he supports on OnlyFans.
I do not support girls on OnlyFans because I know how to search Google images
girls,
to get
air quotes.
I know how to search Google images to get that shit for free. Shut up. Anyway, unless you guys want to throw something else to us, I am going to wind this down because it is almost 1 a.m. and we've got to I've been actually going to bed early for me, like 2 a.m. I've been going to bed not at 4 a.m. at 5 a.m., which is a big improvement. That's a very large improvement. So unless Chad has anything else for us, looks like no one's going to make us watch anything horrible tonight. I know Ariel's out there somewhere, but she hasn't been here tonight. She's been popping up.
She's plotting something against you, I think.
She's been popping up. Well, she's angry at me. Okay, she's angry at me. She accused me during the election stream of silencing her and
yeah, I saw that.
Her. Yeah,
I just saw that.
Bullshit.
I just saw that, Weasel. It's very true. I got one shirt, one pair of pants, and 38 beanies. I do.
It's
very true.
Fine.
And they're slouchy beanies. We got to get this right. Slouchy beanie rebellion. I'm rebelling against regular beanies.
Ariel's gonna come back at a stream at one point, and she's gonna do something horrible to me at this point because she's convinced herself that I'm just kidding when I say that, but she's spinning a narrative. We'll say that I have blocked her and banished her from my streams. So she's gonna make me pay at some point. Anyway, all right. So let's pimp our wares for the rest of the week, and hopefully I'll go to bed at a reasonable time. Samuel, what's your week look like?
Not much. We've got Abyssal Musings coming up on my channel, Samuel the Infamous, on Friday night, about 9:30 p.m. MST, and then I've got to go over to Devil's channel, Beelzehub, for Beelzepub, about an hour after that, which will be like 1 a.m. my time. I forget what it is everywhere else. I don't know. I'm not doing fucking time conversions. They made me set my clock back. I'm fucking done. I'm done with calendars and clocks and fuck all of that shit. Anyway, and then on Saturday at 4 p.m. Mountain Time, we've got Screaming Into the Void back over on my channel, back here next Monday for Mellow Mondays. And whenever Exiled Lioness 2 goes live, I will be there helping her out. So you can find me there as well. And whatever else might come up, there's a possibility. I'm still dealing with some timey-wimey bullshit. Like I said, I'm done with fucking clocks. I'm done with them. They're useless fucking things. I don't care for them anymore. But there's a possibility I might be doing something tomorrow night too. I'm not 100% on that yet. So
God Emperor Trump might get rid of daylight savings time this time around. He might get a chance.
Holy fuck, that would be glorious.
I'd love it.
It doesn't benefit anybody but the Jews anyway. I mean,
hey.
What I meant to say was the robber barons of the railroad.
All right, Devil, we got Get Ranked tomorrow night.
Yes, we do. Tomorrow we are doing the best sci-fi movies. I've been working on this list for a while, putting a couple movies on and taking some break from it and stuff. But finally, I got the whole list done. I was all, I'm gonna put it out there. So yeah, we got that. Check that out. Check out the pub on the hub on Friday going to Saturday, and then I believe I should have the next episode of Devil's Angels out. They kept hitting it over and over and over again, no matter what me and Bug did. Finally, I just disputed it, said the studio's full of shit. and I believe they sided with me. So I should have the next episode of Devil's Angels out here soon. Frequency, I know it's been a while. Check that out. And yeah, just
I just watched
subscribe
that. I just watched that last week. That's such a good movie.
Yeah, it is.
I love the ending. I love the ending, man. It's
so I did too. It's we talk about that, and that just that moment when he
shows up.
He
shows up. Yeah, yes, yeah, that's a good movie. Although I do have a trouble with their accents, their New Yorkese accents. Dennis Quaid's New Yorkese accent bugs me during the movie. It just bugs me. But I love Dennis Quaid, so I accept it. And real quick, because I said Kick-Ass, like the dude who played Kick-Ass. I don't know.
Taylor Johnson.
I don't think he played Quicksilver in the MCU, so I don't think so.
And he's dead.
And he's dead. They didn't bring him back like they should have if they'd done the actual re-snap correctly.
He's good and perforated.
Yeah. He is going to be Craven, though, in another month. That's going to be great at Christmas time. Can't wait to talk about that. Anyway, as for myself, tomorrow I will be on Get Ranked, bringing the blood sport, which is what I'm there to do, to cause fights and make trouble and get us yelling at each other. Other than that, I will try and do a game stream tomorrow. It'll be my choice then, apparently. We'll see how that goes. I have no idea what the news of the rest of the week looks like. As we said earlier, post-election stuff is still kind of choking pop culture a little bit, especially at least what I'm covering. But what you can look forward to is next week, next Monday, I will be reviewing Dune Prophecy based on this book. I'm going to be reading this for the rest of the week so that I can give you guys the best possible take I can. At the same time, now I'm putting this out there, so percolate with this one, guys. Simmer on it. I'm going to start giving ideas for a couple things. One, those of you who are artists out there, I need a logo. It's time I had a logo. We're almost 4 years in here. I need a logo. It's way past time. I am not. That is my artistic abilities are in the written word, not of the picture. So any ideas or this and that, thoughts, or you want to submit one, I'll give you full credit. All kind of stuff. I'm looking for a logo. So I have no idea what it's going to be. I have no idea what I want. Just something that represents me. I don't know what will represent me at this point. So I don't know. So I'm putting it out there. Second, also, as I said, I'm trying to put together a new monthly show where it's an open panel or shut up, Weasel. I'm not Dermy, okay? That's a Dermy logo.
Anyway. No, we're thinking more like a pantaloons and a pocket protector.
Oh, fuck off, all of you.
What? Anyway, Renaissance nerd.
I never want a pocket protector in my life. God damn you.
I'll make a little cartoon version of you with a little puffy thing like they had in the Renaissance.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry I brought this up. I'm sorry I tried to get help. You're all going to punish me now. Anyway, I'm trying to come up with a new show. Part of the hiccup is I can't come up with a title that speaks to me for it. Where essentially we're all going to be in one place, and I'll put a panel together, and we'll talk about a single franchise for the evening once a month. Could be anything. It was supposed to originally just be like a Stargate thing, but I realized I don't want to just limit us to that because eventually we'll run out of things to talk about, or we'll just be talking about the same things over and over again. So I kind of want to do that, similar to Anime Odyssey. If you guys got good idea names, think about them, throw them at me next time on a live stream. I keep bouncing around a couple ideas myself. So look forward to that. And the first one will be Stargate because Jed is making his way through it, and he is having some great takes and this and that. So I would love to put him in a room with the rest of us and have those discussions. Also, I do not know who our guest is on Ballbusters this week. Dermy said it wrong 2 weeks ago, but I don't remember who it is. So look forward to Ballbusters, 11 p.m. Eastern on Dermy's channel, the clusterfuck that it is. And this week on Saturday Night Driving, because our good friend Algrim the Strong got us to a super chat threshold 2 weeks ago on Drive-In, and he also earned it. He earned a second perk because he did it all by himself. That'll be my next movie. I am watching a movie. Doing a movie I've never seen before, which I generally don't do. So for the first time ever, you guys are going to get my take on Inception this weekend. I've never seen Inception. So it should be a good discussion because it's one of Jed's favorite movies. So it should be an interesting discussion. And we don't have any guests lined up yet. What?
Nothing. Don't worry about it.
I
said your hair looks nice. Move on.
That's obviously going to mean something. Obviously, it's going to mean something. And because of my memory the way it is, I'll remember you said that when I'm watching the movie. I have no dog in this race going into it. I don't really.
Right. I was
I'm
just
not really,
fucking with you a little bit. I just think
I'm
that
not.
Jed's taste is sometimes suspect.
I'm not really into Christopher Nolan movies, but I don't generally have an opinion on them. I'm just not into them. So I only think of this movie that I could say that I will be objective about, despite my complete and utter distaste for Leonardo DiCaprio. I can be objective going into this, even though I despise him with every fiber of my being. So we got Inception this weekend, 6 p.m. Eastern on mine and Jed's channel. Saturday Night Drive-In. I'll be on Saturday after that for whatever the hell we're doing over there. Sunday, 2 p.m. Eastern, the Round Table, where I have no idea at this point what we're going to talk about. It is only Monday. The week is still ahead of us. You never know what's going to happen, but we shall see. And then we will be right back here for another Mellow Mondays, 10:30 p.m. Eastern next week, where I am sure Dune Prophecy will come up because that's going to be review day. I'm sure there's going to be some conversation. I will either be bitching and moaning or saying, might have a chance here. But then again, it is still part of Denis Villeneuve's Dune universe. So that's a red flag for Adam because fuck Denis V and what he did to Dune. Anyway, thank you one and all for being here, guys. We appreciate each and every one of you. Without you guys, we don't get to do this. So we'll see you guys next time. Until then, take it easy, everybody.
See.
Bye.